Yo, I'm back with another video of Reconstruction where we reconstruct each other from the deconstructions of life. And today I'm going to talk about one simple thing that can be hard for someone out there. And today we're talking about love. Yeah, so love is not just a feeling, we just going to someone and saying I love you. Did you know that you can go to someone and say I love you and still not love them? Yeah. So like, love is a lifestyle, guys. Like love is not about going to someone and saying, you know what, can you be my boyfriend? Can you be my girlfriend? Yeah, like that's many people's mentality about love. Like when I say I love you, right? Love is a lifestyle, right? Which is what Jesus lived by, what the Apostle Paul lived by. When you look at the Bible, like people who acted in love were so much blessed because they made it their lifestyle. So when we have the Ten Commandments, right? And when we look at when I also open the Bible, like where they talk about love is such an advantage that, you know what, when you live by it, like you get these blessings. And yeah, so when Jesus came, he made an 11th commandment, and it talks about love, right? So I spoke about the 10, and now there are 11 commandments, and he says it's the most important one. So when we look at the fruits of the spirit, the first fruit that is mentioned is love. So in my perspective, it's like, oh, okay, so we need love in everything. So like when you apply love in everything that you do, you think it will be so efficient. Unlike when you don't apply love in it, when you do it in a way that you know you want to finish, no, there's no love in it. Even though like it succeeds, but it's not going to be as efficient as it was gonna be when you applied love, right? So like, yeah, love is a lifestyle. You can choose to go everywhere and just show some love, right? Like, we are aiming to be like Jesus here. Yeah, today I'm going to speak about the characteristics of love. So we hear saying of God is love, right? Because God is love. Because when you have love, you have God. Because like the characteristics of love is the characteristics of God in my own view, like how I see it. And these things and these characteristics, I take them in a passage of scripture in 1 Corinthians 13. The first characteristic I'm going to talk about is love is long suffering. This can be a disadvantage to many people's ears, but then you know what? There's a greater reward when you when you go through that suffering of having love. Because have you ever seen like loving people are the most ignored people, whether in school, whether at work? The most ignored people, the people who are treated in a mean way. There are people who are not taken seriously and stuff like that. And yet we still act in love, right? When we are loving people, to even those people who are mean. So like we suffer for loving people, for having love. Like when we read Jesus, Jesus was innocent but got crucified. He was the most loving. He healed people, and yet was crucified. Yes. The second characteristic is love is kind. So when you're a loving person, it will be hard for you to be an unkind person. When you're a loving person, you'll be helpful. You'll be a companion to people. So like, yeah, love is kind. So the third characteristics, I'm trying to move quick, guys. I don't want to make a very long video. So like, yeah, the third characteristics is that love does not envy. So in one of the previous episodes, I spoke about jealousy, right? And I said this: the antidote of jealousy is celebrating. So when you're a loving person, it will be hard for you to be jealous, to envy. Yes, it'll be hard for you, but it will be easy for you to celebrate with people who succeed, even though they succeed in a thing that you wanted. And you are not succeeding in the thing that you wanted, but it will be easy for you to celebrate with those people. Yes. So the other characteristic of love is that love doesn't behave rudely, right? Love doesn't behave rudely. I mean, like when you're a loving person, it'll be hard for you to be a rude person. Like even to rude people, you will reply in a nice way, like, okay, you know what, God bless you. There's this thing I heard from one of the preachers. He was talking about this other preacher called Joel Osteen. He was like, okay, you know what, Joel Osteen is such a nice person. Like, then when you come with your vulgar words to him, and you know what, just swear and just curse and curse and curse, he'll be like, God bless you. Which is great, right? Like, that's one great way to spread love, right? So yeah, the other characteristic is that love does not seek its own. So this can be like, love does not seek its own. Like, this is I know, but then yeah, the way I see it is like, you're borrowing someone something, and it doesn't bring it back. Like, ignores you. Like, yeah. So like, this is what Jesus said, right? Like, when you I think he said something like, when you borrow something, like when you give someone something, don't give to expect back, but give to not expect. It's something like that, right? So like, don't give expecting, give because you want to give. So like, yeah. So love does not seek its own. Yeah. So like, yeah. So the other characteristic of love is that love is not evil. So I don't think I have to explain that one. I mean, um, if you're an evil person, you're a bad person. So like, if you are a loving person, you're a good person. So like, bad is the opposite of good. So how can you be good and bad at the same time? You can be lukewarm, but you cannot be in one side and the other at the same time. No, it cannot happen. Yes, and the other characteristic of love is that love does not rejoice in iniquity but in truth, right? So like, when you're a loving person, you'll be honest, you'll speak the truth, you will, yeah, you'll be honest, you'll speak the truth about people. To a person, it will be hard for you to be a lying person, to be a person who just, yeah, you just speak truth, right? And the last one is that love never fails. So when you do everything in love, everything that you did in love will never fail. So God never fails in you. God never leaves nor forsake you. He never fails, right? God never fails. So yeah, so that's love, guys. You know what? Let's just spread the love everywhere we go. Let's not have a mean personality. Let's not have an unloving and unkind personality. But spread the love. Apply love in everything that you do. Yes, I would like for you to subscribe, like, and you know what? Share this video to someone who you think it would help them, because we're trying to live a happy life all together. We're trying to reconstruct each other from our deconstructions of life. So, peace.